Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty huge news, and funny enough too as well, if you guys want to leave a comment down below, I think as of the time of me making and uploading this video, the PlayStation Network is actually down. So if you guys are also affected by that one, let me know in the comment section down below. That kind of sucks. Hopefully be all sorted soon, or of course maybe like 6, 7, 8 hours or tomorrow. Hopefully you guys can leave a comment down below if it's all back and you guys are playing currently. But we actually have a really big and cool update and change up that PlayStation has finally went and addressed. Now if you guys don't know, we've actually been covering up a saga of like 3 or 4 different videos throughout the past 2 years or so of a major PlayStation issue. And this is in regards now to the PlayStation Store, where there's just a plethora of unwanted, spammy, AI drill games that are basically just garbage. I'm not joking. Like, you spend like $1, but it took someone 3 minutes to go and make. There's people that are utilizing this just for trophies. There are people that are spamming the same game 15 different times. There are companies that are quite literally banned from making PS5 games, so they keep on spam making PlayStation 4 games. It's actually horrible. Like, it's actually bad. Like, imagine just the most garbage of all garbage games are now being sold on PlayStation. And for quite some time, people were very upset. Trophy hunters kind of thought that there was no reason to deal with it. People just trying to go and find brand new upcoming games are getting scammed. And of course, there was a lot of like algorithm baiting, basically for these companies out there having like, say, like a group of 100 friends, Facebook groups, AI accounts, spam accounts, or accounts they bought up in China, wherever it might go and be, to go and mass review, mass make, and kind of make these games end up on the trending page. But right now, it seems like PlayStation has finally addressed this issue, and in my honest opinion, I'm pretty happy about it. So if you guys are happy too, so smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Don't forget, we have our second YouTube accounts be happening up very soon. Down below, our 2 Twitter accounts as well with the gaming accounts, and of course the Twitch and our usual YouTube here. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and let's go and dive on into the video itself. So as I mentioned, throughout the past, quite some time, we've been seeing some pretty big issues when it comes to PlayStation. This is actually an article over here from 2022, and we've made a few videos on it. If you guys are regulars on the channel, you guys may, recognize it. Where basically PlayStation had this one term called a shovelware. And basically people were spamming through games, and they were just actually having a chance to, just kind of scheme people. Like, it's not really a scam because it was a quote-unquote game, but imagine you have like a guy who worked maybe about 3 hours on a game and sold it to you for $1. Is it a really big deal? No, it's not the biggest deal, but let's go into that happens 1,000 different times, all within the span of a weekend, and it starts like kind of basically bloating out real games, removing real proper indie developers. It leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth, because you go to the PlayStation Store and try to find a new game or indie game, and it's all just absolute scams. We also had a big issue even a few weeks ago where a Last of Us clone was basically relaunched with like the same characters utilized through AI, and the game itself was so bare bones. It was basically like a walking simulator with no actual gameplay involved. But this has been an issue over here. Like, they've been trying their best to fix it. They've been trying their best to rest around with it, and they're actually having a chance now to, have all these reports a little bit ago. But, obviously it was still ongoing for quite some time, because there's even stuff over here like these games that are just copying somewhat relevant and popular indie games out here too as well. This also is even an issue on Nintendo. But you guys can kind of see, like, a lot of these things are kind of AI, and it's plaguing the PlayStation Store, plaguing the Nintendo Store. Look, there's even like Animal Crossing style games. There's going to be like a lawsuit waiting to happen. This is only from a few weeks ago when it comes to this news. Just so you know, it is like irrelevant. Like, there are these things ongoing, or it just is, scam. Like, this is basically just an Animal Crossing ripoff, which, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I'm sure someone will be like, well, who cares? It's more games. But these are all garbage. Like, these are all actually garbage games out here too as well. So it sucks. But one big thing to note is it seems like PlayStation is finally making do. Finally trying to remove these games, trying to be a better game company, and seeing this stuff makes me happy. Because right now, PS5 spam games are now being properly delisted, being removed, and I'm very happy about it. So high level is that Sony has seemingly begun removing low-effort spam games from the PlayStation Store. Kind of like what I was saying, is like if it's a game that was made within like a day, games that are completely copying games like Last of Us, Animal Crossing, or any other popular game out there. There's even games like Roblox, where it's not Roblox, but it's Roblox, or like, like maybe have like minor crafters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you look at it, like maybe if you're a kid, you see it for $1, Minecraft $30, and you go and you buy it, and then you click on it and you realize the game is nothing, or made with AI, or made with completely copy pasted reused assets, and PlayStation really should have done something with it, because it does harm people that are just careless. It does go and harm probably little kids. It does also go and harm as well indie developers. That really is I think the bread and butter. So developers and players have complained that the store is filled with titles that use generative AI and have little to no content. And that's exactly why I try to preface this video. Random Spin Games released 19 titles in 2024 alone, but has now had most of them removed from the PlayStation Store. After many months of complaints from both game developers and PlayStation 5 owners, Sony has seemingly begun delisting, thank God, some of these low-effort spam games that have been infesting the PlayStation Store. While plenty of bad PlayStation 5 games appear in the PS Store regularly, these spam games are often low-effort with very little content and churned out much more frequently than other titles. This has resulted in the PS Store being overrun with low-quality games, which has become bad news for both developers and players alike. As the use of AI continues to be worrying trend in gaming, and I do agree. My quick insert is, I think AI does have a place somewhat. I've maybe used a popular example on the channel where it's like, you have maybe AI for individualized custom storytelling. Think like a game like Skyrim, you implement different characters, you have different maybe quest dialogues, maybe also implement different types of dungeons, worlds. Like I can see that, like we're seeing that in Unreal Engine or the PSSR, which is all technically machine learning, aka also AI integration. There's a time and a place. But at the same time, I'm not a big fan of AI bloatware and garbage made by random people and stealing assets. I wouldn't mind if it's maybe used to enhance the game with proper players, but I don't want to lose creativity. I'm not the biggest fan of AI in games. I'm not the biggest fan of AI in artwork. I'm not the biggest fan of AI in general if it's just kind of making shoddy, gross products. But at the same time, this probably will be something we have to worry about in the future and integrate into normal society, so we have to keep that in mind. So developers like Truck Studios have been accused of even using AI tools to create loading screens for Call of Duty. Funny enough, I even saw a random advertisement from a really big brand that was 100% using AI. Like it's just very obvious. Like the animations were so shoddy. Like it basically had like frames disappearing. You could just go and tell. But anyway, all these people are using a lot of these individualized assets to use them to turn out low effort games as quickly as possible, and then putting them on storefronts such as Steam, Nintendo eShop, and the PlayStation Store, and even more. IGN recently spoke to a handful of legitimate developers who have expressed their frustrations with this trend, and now it looks like PlayStation could actually finally be listening. This is awesome. So Sony removes these PS5 spam games to the store, which I think this is a win. Like I want to hear your thoughts down below. For players, the frustrating thing about these low-effort titles being everywhere is the inability to find some of the best PS5 games. And it kind of just clogs the store, clogs the trending list, like clogs the most recently released. Like it sucks. However, it looks like that could be almost about to change. Spied by fans and PSN profiles, Sony has taken down almost all of the random spin games, like that's just a company that was mentioned in this article, just bloatware garbage from the PlayStation Store. The developer was known for contributing to the poor quality games in the store, with titles such as Body Cam Shooter, Backrooms Brotherhood, and Supermarket Simulator Pro. And throughout 2024, Random Spin Games released 19 titles, which they're saying, and I would agree, is very impossible for any indie developer, like a legitimate indie developer or a AAA studio, producing any game that's not complete bloatware. So there are still issues. There are still a lot of these spam games on the PlayStation Store, but this is the first like big push that PlayStation's trying to finally do something, trying to finally go and clean up the store, and hopefully that can bring a lot more cool indie games and smaller games on the PlayStation Network. Because as you guys even saw, there's another article referenced out. If you're an indie game developer, do you really want to be competing with this AI? Like, what if you know you're going to make a game on PlayStation, which does cost money to port on over from, say, a Steam game or PC game or a Nintendo Switch game, whatever. And then what if you just completely go and sell it and the game becomes a flop because the store itself is not utilizing it well and it's being gamed by other people ending up on #1 in the most released because they released 3 games over your game within a 3-hour period? You know, like they're gaming the system. Or maybe it's just like spammed up by people trying to get trophies, and you have someone who spends 30 seconds on a game itself too as well. They're also saying that Nintendo actually could also is probably the easiest to scam. And before stating that they once were in the door to Nintendo, they can make fart the game and would eventually get maybe it would eventually get taken down. Basically saying like once you're in with these things like PlayStation, Nintendo, you're basically locked on in. But it does seem like these games are being delisted. It does seem like these game companies are finally kind of getting like a slap on the wrist and hopefully more hardcore and maybe being like, hey, if you make more, we're gonna have to remove you. And this kind of makes me a little bit on the happier side because I don't want to have to deal with having to play and search through more garbage AI games that I have to, and I don't want to have to see these games make more money, and I'd rather see individual, properly good indie game developers get the attention that they deserve, and of course, have less people getting scammed or wasting their money on games that were made in 30 minutes. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments, and also a big collapse to PlayStation. I think this is all good news in my opinion. Subscribe if you guys are new. We have the Twitters and Twitches down below with all the links out there, and of course, want to hear your thoughts and comments on everything down below.